add insights, and I'm pretty sure that the type of discussion which we are going to do in next couple of minutes is going to help everyone. So I'm just looking forward to that. That's it.
Right, right. So yeah, so I think we'll start without wasting any time further. I'll just put you on the first thought or first question that you have thought. Uh, so just let us know, Aryan, what let you start your journey with data science domain initially, and at the initial time when you are with Genpact, how you thought that data? What is your thought at that moment?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So, okay, let me start from the beginning. I think this will help connecting dots, right? So, the point is, I have done my engineering, and I've done the engineering in mechanical. So, I have two choices to make in. Either I being into the core industry of mechanical and all, and this was a time in 2013, when there is no such hype around data science. To be honest, I
Right,
have
right.
purposefully used the word hype. Okay, and there was no data science at all. Actually, I am telling you honestly, right? There was only few companies who's right really doing a data science, and of course there were companies who were doing, but yeah, it's not that much hyped as it is today, right? So
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to got a campus from the college, and as a lot of freshers do, I also had the same sense of thing. Okay, how the things will work out. Let me choose non-core industry, and the reason may be a little bit. A little bit joking types, but I will say that my reason of joining a non-core world, because I have seen that kind of a setup from my senior, that if you join non-core, you have to work on laptops, and that was a fancy job rather than going on do a core job. Again, it sounds a little bit foolish type right now if I look at that kind of a thinking, but yeah, that's how I get started. You can understand, right, as a fresher, how we think.
Right, right.
Correct. So then I joined as an industry, and of course, a lot of things were new for me. A lot of you may not believe this, but I was not a techie such in a college. So even when I been exposed to Python or shell scripts, I was like, "What's happening, dude? I'm not getting what's happening here." So I of course put a lot of efforts, and it's not only the individual effort. People have kind of helped me over there. I was fortunate to have a part of a data engineering, then data science kind of a projects. And I keep on learning over there, and that's where I've spent a lot of time over there in learning this thing. And eventually, I was always a guy who had a good analytical aptitude from the college itself, and that's what then connected the pieces together. That okay, rather than like here, though I am coming from Mac background, I did feel that problem solving is one of the biggest skill set in this particular domain, rather than technology
Oh,
all can be learned on. So I think this is how my data science kind of career gets started. To be honest, I have not planned for it. To be honest, it just happened, and I don't have that. Okay, I have to go in data science because that was not a time in 2013. So yeah, that's how it started.
right, right. So I think I'll get a great prospect with this as well. So initially, when we are in college, what we mostly look to get placed at least initially,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So this is what, and what you have added right now, that you have a great analytical sense at that moment. So choosing and mathematics is a part during any subject that you'll choose, and mostly it's a very deep kind of knowledge that being utilized in the your core, right? Mechanical core.
Yes.
So that will also help you a lot apart from it, as you have a thought or a sense that, yeah, you can do great in analytics, then this will be a great career for it, I would say, because
Yeah.
data science, we mostly visualize the data, right? So that's a great prospect or great thought that you have shared. So I'll just bring you the next question that we have right now. So what exactly your role in the current firm you are with? Okay. So I mean to say,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. So what is the role that you are doing right now? What is the kind of
So
jobs that you are doing in the Just Money?
correct.
Yeah.
So basically, okay, so I am currently working as a lead data scientist, and if I talk about the roles and responsibilities, they are more on, of course, hands-on stuff, along with leading a couple of verticals as such, which is very prominent to the company. So as the company is into the lending business, So definitely we need to develop a lot of risk-based solutions where we need to do a lot of machine learning, where we have to develop typically classification, regression kind of a problems, right? So of course,
Right, right,
me and the folks together, we kind of deliver this kind of a solution. Uh, Again, at the core of any business, when you join industry as a fresher, and then eventually you become a lead, or you become a senior folk in the team.
right,
So it happens like your responsibility keep on shifting, and initially you were like very techy, spending let's say 70, 80, 90% of your time in coding, and then eventually
right,
you
right,
move towards in envisioning that okay, how the business is. See, because to be honest, right, if I talk about a role, right, so see, technical part is one aspect of all the things, right, which we do. So I think a lot of people are aware about all the algos, technology, Python, R, machine learning, SGBoost, random forest, deep learning, and all that. But at the top of it,
right.
need to be integrated with business. It's need to, and that's the skill set which is very important. And that's where I come back to my first point that problem solving is one of the biggest skill which any job should, any person should possess, whether in data science or not. But in data science also, it's plays a big role. So yeah, I think that's what I'm in. I try solve problems using all this, and yeah, that's it. That's what I do on my work.
Yeah, sure, sure. So I think I'll get an idea. And yeah, you have said that currently you're a lead data scientist, and you have started your journey from associate, right, initially. So
Correct.
I'd like to give a bit idea that when somebody join, or if any fresher you want to join into an organization, so I think there is a two prospect with which you can see there is a quality and the quantity. Once you'll join, you'll be doing a lot of coding kind of thing, that's you'll be doing a quantity kind of work in a very big way, but those quality are not much. Okay, but as you'll grow with the organization, your every decision create a quality. Like you'll just choose that whether the whole thing that the team is doing can be put it into the front or not. So as you'll grow in an organization, your quantity work get go keep going low, because whatever the decision you'll be taking, making a quality in an organization, and this is what is happening. So initially your work is more quantity type, but it have a less quality. But as you'll grow in the organization, it will move ahead with your decisions keep quality in the organization, and you'll be taking low quantity work, right? I think that is what I'll try to put, right, Arihan? Any comment?
Yeah, exactly. So it's I wouldn't say like completely, but if you see, there are set of things you need to do as an individual when you join as an associate. Like you have a lot of craving towards analytics learning. You have a lot of cravings towards coding and all. And this keeps on happening as you grow in career. But along with that, there are a lot of responsibility which comes in making a right decisions for the team, right decisions for your organization. So yeah, definitely. I think the point which you are making completely makes sense here, and
Yeah,
that's how the role kind of emerge as you kind of grow in industry, and this equally applies to all the role, and
right, right.
same goes with data science too.
Sure, sure, sure. So yeah, I think we'll be getting a bit idea. Means what data science will do is mostly solving problems, right?
Yes.
And this is what our regular day-to-day job. But in data science, what different than other fields or other engineering background like Java or other C++ is that in data science we have to modify the problem as per our need of solution, right? We need a certain sets or certain output based on what we really want to look. If you want to take an example that we want to find out that whether this house is being sold at that price or not, so we'll try to find out all the other keywords, all the features that will be making effect on that, and we'll be modifying all those features to target at a single position that understand the selling price. So this kind of modification takes a lot of effort and a lot of understanding of internal data, and then we'll move further with it, right? So this is a basic I just want to add. Apart from it, I'll just move on with the next question that we have for Arihan. Okay, so what advice you want to give for freshers who want to pursue career in data science?
Yeah, good question. So I guess, see,
Right.
I think there is no dearth of information now on this particular question. And I'm pretty sure that if you Google, or let's say if you go on Quora or any other community for that matter, you'll find a lot of answers to it. And I will keep it a
Right.
little bit different from what type of answers have been given on the forum, right? So, see, as a fresher, you need to develop your USP, okay? And everyone need to do that as they grow in their career. USP is like unique selling point, right? That what you are expert in, right? And there is
Right.
no dearth of people who know Python nowadays, right? And there is no dearth of people who know machine learning also, right? A lot of
Right.
coaching
Right.
institutes have prepared a lot of guys, right? Uh, and even people are learning by themselves, right? There are so many free open source material available, people, right? So what you have to do is, first of all, you have to focus on couple of fundamental things, right? That of course you need to good in coding, and when you are doing coding specifically, let's say Python, try to build your portfolio, try to showcase on GitHub, try to showcase your project, start writing blogs. So a lot of folks do coding, they are a great coders, but see, you are in a pool of people, right, who are fighting or who are trying to get into data science jobs, right, or preparing for data science, right? So
Right.
when you will learn the things and you will apply in the different projects you are doing it, make them as a project, do it. Let's say if you go on Kaggle, pick up some of the complex problems over there, try to solve them, come back, put this on their GitHub, put this with proper note on that what you have done, maybe go on Medium or
Proper
any other.
documentation.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe go on any other forum and write a blogs over there, like what's your platform. You start your own website or whatsoever it is, right? So I think in nutshell, if I say technical skills is a must, right? And I don't want to kind of talk about there is a lot of on the web which is available. Along with that, the
Right.
extra
Right.
piece of advice which I wanted to give is create your visibility. That's very important. And visibility uh, will come when you start kind of publishing your work. So learn things, try to showcase to the world that this is what you have done and take a feedbacks, right? Because no one is perfect, right? So every time once
Right.
we
Right.
are doing the work, you'll get a feedback from people like me or people like anyone in the industry, and then try to incorporate that feedback. And trust me, industry is moving in that direction when people wanted to see not the pointers on the resume, but also the evidences that what you have done on your work,
Right.
right? So I think these are not a very common answer to this question. A lot of people talk about learn Python, statistics, maths, and anyway you have to learn that. There is no denial on that. But along with this points, work on this point. And just last thing I wanted to kind of add in here, try to gain a bigger picture, try to understand the domains, right? And it's really difficult sitting outside and understanding domains. When I say, so let's say pick up any industry, like let's say which you like more, let's say banking, or let's say e-commerce or food tech companies, and try to understand their models, how they can be using a data science. You will find material around it. Try to read them, try to have that curiosity angle in you, right? And which helped me a lot, right? So whenever, even when I go out, I always try to figure out that how this company can be using a data science, right, to improve the experience of their customers. So I think that skill is something which is also very unconventionally and unfortunately have not been talked about much. But I will say that kind of focus on that also will help you all to keep yourself completely aside from your peers, and you will become a lot of visible when you start showing this kind of a threats and skill sets.
Right, right. I think one bigger point that you have added here make a lot of sense. First of all, that there must be some ground reality that you have done something in data science, right? And this is what you can build. If a fresher, you can build your GitHub repository in a better way, because mostly when even in my firm we'll be trying to find out resume, we'll try to look at what kind of coding they have done. We'll also look at their Kaggle profile, that what kind of visibility they have till now. So that lets us understand that how much capable the person is, or how much capable or groundwork the person has done. Okay, this is a great point that coming out of it right now. So yeah, Aryan. So I think I'll just move on to the next question with you. Okay, is data science certification needed for under postgrad student, and how it will help? I just want to take your view on this.
Uh, okay, so again, I think I will say, see, there are two aspects of things. One, you try to go on web and try to learn something, implement it, and show the work. Without any certification, because your need is to learn the things and all that. Of course, you need to have a self motivation here, and do it. Second part
Right.
is that you go ahead and, let's say, kind of pursue for different certification out there. See, so I will say, to be very honest, again, it depends mostly on the individual how they wanted to do a learning. So it's not that the first approach of not getting a certification but getting a knowledge is not going to work out, because there are multiple ways to become visible over there. Like, if you have a knowledge,
Right.
you can be visible on the platforms where a lot of hackathons keep on happening, and you can make yourself visible in coming top 50, top 10, or top 100 for that matter, right? And there is a then second route of taking a certification. See, taking a certification is not a bad idea though, but at the same time, I will say that if the motivation is of taking a certification only, or just doing something to get a certification, that is not anyway going to help you, because see, any course for
Right.
that
Right.
matter will teach you something. uh,
Yeah.
it's like, the way you learn to write a book, right? So you won't wake up in the morning one day and say that I will write the 600 pages book today, right? So you, of course,
Right.
think, arrange words, combine words, create stories, and then deliver something, right? In the similar way, see, data science certification help you and kind of get started. But ultimately, if you don't do projects, and don't do hands-on, then there is no value of the certifications too, at least in my opinion. So I will say that it's not a binary answer to be given yes and no. I think it depends on the
Right.
individual, and accordingly can be kind of taken ahead.
Right. So you mean to say that do a certification, but do it with the thought that the ongoing things that is happening in that certification is matters to you, not the certificate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right. So I think that's a great part of it, and yeah, it really helps. So I'll just putting the next question for you. Okay.
So
What is the core responsibility a data science domain expert spend most of his time with? And that's a huge question, I think.
yeah. So, okay, let's think on this, okay, and let's talk about this. So, I will tell you very honestly, like, if you talk about, let's say, 0 to 4 years of experience per se, mostly, you are being assigned to solve different business problems where you have been, like, kind of go and find out the relevant data, right? And then do a lot of cleaning on the top of it, do a lot of sanity checks, do a lot of exploratory
Right.
data analysis, uh, and then reach to a stage where you can apply magic. Magic is machine learning, right? Where you can say that
Right.
you will
Right.
be able to predict things, right? But if you see the funnel, right, there is a funnel involved where you need to gather the data. It doesn't happen that the day at 10 a.m. in the morning you reach to office and there is a someone who come to at your desk and say that, hey, this is the data. Can you please apply a machine learning algorithm? No, right? It doesn't happen like that,
No, no, that,
right?
yeah,
So,
right,
yeah, right.
almost.
Yeah. So it do happen in the competition that where you got the CSV file, but in business environment doesn't happen like that. So you are a sole owner of understanding what data need to be fetched, what kind of a transformations need to be applied, what kind of a cleaning you need to do, right? So I will say that if you see the profile of data scientists, most of the data scientists, 70-80% of the time they spend on this. And there is hardly 20% of the time which is being kind of spent in really doing ML, okay, which is applying this fancy algorithms and trying to get the results. And trust me, the fundamental philosophy of any ML system is garbage in and garbage out, right? So if you're
Right,
not
right,
able to
almost.
fix the 80% of the part properly, which means that you cannot create the impact or magic in the next 20% of the part, right? So I will say this is the way data scientists are kind of placed on. And you say it fortunate, unfortunate, boring, or whatsoever it is. But yeah, data scientists do spend 70-80% of their time on this, cleaning stuff, making the data ready, understanding it, and all that. And I think it's very important part of the whole ML pipeline.
Right, right. So I think that is a big outcome that is coming here. So what I can understand is that data cleaning and data pre-processing are the bigger challenge in any organization, right? And these are the jobs that will take 80% of time. But if we go a bit back on it, then there is a data collecting or data crawling also involved. So even when you are trying to solve an problem, or when somebody is trying to solve a problem, they have to initially find out what is the right kind of data, and whether they are able to pick that right kind of data from the source or not, or either that data is complete or you need something else as well. So all these kind of things comes under the data scraping or data crawling. Then there is a prospect of data cleaning, and then there is a data pre-processing, so that all initial 80% makes sense to the next 20% where magic happens, where data science responds in a proper way or give you that is not garbage in and not garbage out, right? So
Yeah,
almost
agree.
yeah.
Yes.
So let's move on to the next questions. Meanwhile, I would like to tell to all the joinees here that if you have any questions, just let us know in the comment or in chat box, so that we'll raise it at the right time. So please feel free to make your voice there. And let's move to the next questions, Aryan. What kind of decision mostly a data science solution help to an organization? Whether it solve a simple problem or a complex problem or a bit hard kind of problem. Means the question means that what is the outcome mostly being utilized during data science solutions that we will be using. Okay, and I mean to say towards your field of choice.
Yeah, so see, it's okay. Data science do help business, and that's been kind of proven in last couple of years. And given I worked in diverse industries, I have seen this happening in multiple industries myself, and I can definitely say that there is a commercial impact that data science brings in. Of course, you need to think holistically in getting this experience delivered or getting this impact delivered, I will say, right? So and if you try to classify the problems, right, there are multiple kind of problems. Some problems are very hard problem to solve, and they are hard because maybe there is not a sufficient data available, or maybe there may not be a sufficient skill set available, and so on and so forth.
All right.
There may be some low hanging fruits, which is I will say a simpler problem to solve. And it's always a good approach that you try to solve a simple problem first and try to create an impact, right? So if you see any organization or any business vertical, they have, like, if you talk about B2C verticals where businesses are serving their customers, like for example telecom, right? So telecom do the same thing, right? That they try to provide you the best services they can so that you are happy and you stay with them, and you pay a monthly bill, or let's say monthly recharges what you wanted to do in, right? So
Right, right.
that's a revenue stream for them, right? And this revenue stream is through customers, right? So it's their job to make them happy, to keep them happy. Now, to keeping them happy, of course they need to understand the pain points of customer. They have to do a lot of segmentations. They have to do a lot of clustering to understand what is the behavior of the customers, then use this learning to try to kind of predict in that, okay, which customer behavior is kind of getting impacted in some way or another, right? And then try to fix this in some way or other, maybe by giving cashbacks, offers, or try to service that customer through a better customer care agent or something like that, right? So again, I will go back to the same point which I was mentioning. A typical business can have a multiple problems to solve in, right? So it's always a good
Right, right.
practice that classify them into multiple buckets of problems, like small problems, simpler problems, easy to deliver problems, and then versus moderate versus hard, and then try to solve them one by one. And when you collectively started doing them one by one, you will see that there is a some shift happening overall in a positive direction, which yields to the impact. But again, it's a process, so it doesn't happen that you build one model and the things will fly. Sometimes, in some cases, you need to think very holistically, where you may need to have multiple models, multiple strategies in a place to kind of really create that kind of an impact. Yeah.
Right, right. I think I'll got an idea. So, apart from the problem statement, there are other two factors that is playing a great role here. One is the data availability, and second is the skill set availability, right? So these two are equally important apart from the problem statement, whether it's hard, easy, or complex problem, right? So I think it's a great prospect that you have put right now. Now, I would like to know your views on how telecommunication industry deal with data and leverage the data science domain expert capabilities.
Yeah, sure. So, okay, so if you look at the telecom industry as such, it's a huge industry. There is a huge customer base, and telecom is a product, which we cannot get away with, right? We have
Right,
the
almost.
tendency of living with our phones, sleeping with our phones, roaming with our phones, right? So,
It's our part
definitely
of day-to-day activity, right?
correct, correct. So we cannot ignore it. At the same time, if you see the data generation process, given the kind of activities which we are doing with our phone, like browsing data, calling everyone, calling our colleagues, our friends, XYZ people, right? And doing a lot of activities. Now, all this activity is a data point for the companies, right? Telco companies.
Right,
Now,
right.
again, I will say to the same point that as a telco company, any company will want their customers to be happy, right? Because
Yeah,
if customer,
almost.
yeah, exactly. If customer is unhappy, then what is going to happen is they will say that, okay, hey, Tata, bye bye, we don't want to use your service, right?
Right.
Right. So it's a
It's a
loss for
competition
them, right?
market.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where they try to use the different business analytics, or let's say models, to try to figure out which customer is unhappy in one way or another, and then try to target that customers. Along with that, if you see, telecommunication is full of network related stuff, right? So a lot of time you need to understand which area network will kind of create an impact later on. What can be the data forecasting volumes coming on this particular towers which is installed basically by the telco industries, because if let's say there is a huge data browsing is going to happen, then they need to maintain a capacity accordingly, right? So it's a more of supply demand game, right, where you can
Right,
use
right.
and go ahead use an analytics over there or data science over there. Yeah, so these are, I think, most of the streams. And you can also think of the brand, right, because every companies care for a brand, and at the same time, uh, it's equally applied to the telcos. So they need to kind of understand customer reviews which is being posted on social media to make a sense out of it. There are a lot of work happen on the survey and the research part, where you go and understand the customer sentiment. You ask them some questions, they send you the answers for it, or a survey for this, and then you go ahead and analyze this. So I think it do happen in multiple verticals. I can keep on spending and talking about this in length, but yeah, this is what the brief, if I wanted to kind of put in front of you guys.
Right. I think almost I can relate with it because in this telecommunication sector, you completely dealing with people, right? Your services is provided to people, and they are open to give you feedback. And when there is a competition, you have to understand what your customer need, at what place, what is their requirement, and how to leverage them with exactly same thing or more than that, right? And this is what I can take it out from these discussions. So okay, moving on to the next question that I really want to ask with you. What are the most of the ML algorithms used for analysis? I mean to say in telecommunication, right?
Yeah, so it's all like they are typical classification and regression and the unsupervised problem 70 to 80% of the time, where you will go ahead and start with, let's say, linear regression, logistic regression, SG boost, CAT boost, light GBM kind of an algos. In some cases, you do need to understand about the neural networks, CNN architectures, RNN algorithms, RNN architectures, to solve for the texture related problems or NLP related things. But in nutshell, if I wanted to put about this, I think 70-80% of the problems lie into the classification and regression categories. And that's where the and let's say cat boosting and all play a very deeper role while developing a lot of models, a lot of insights overall.
Oh, right, right. So I think apart from all of it, Rihant, if I'll ask you to choose one or two that is mostly used, which one I think what two you'll be choosing?
So I think this is not specific to telco, to be honest. This is, I think,
Right,
across most of the industries. Boostings algorithm are very powerful algorithm. They are very, I will say less amount of effort needed. In more impactful way, you can create product and models. And for that, I think all the boosting algorithm is like a kind of a top priority, starting from let's say SG Boost and GBMs of the world gradient boosting machines. Specifically, if I talk about the data which is like in a CSV format and structured data, I will say, right. And if we talk about images and all, that's a different category altogether. CNN
right,
has
right.
having a great depth there, but
That's a computer vision is a different kind of problem already.
correct,
Yeah. So yeah.
correct. So if we talk about structured data, then I think boosting is an one algorithm. I will say that pick any boosting algorithm. 95% of the cases you will see that that model is kind of winning you or taking you to the heights compared to other models.
Right, right. So yeah, I can get a bit prospect on it. So question is very important.
Sorry.
You may have seen in the initial discussions that around 2013, when you are going to onboard right in the job sector, so there was no hype or not great impact for data science at that moment. But if we will talk about the current scenario, the current time, means data science is almost an internal part of every organization. They'll try to understand that what they should do so that they will be sustained for their next decades of ongoing process. So I'll just put you the thought that or the question that I have in mind. What do you think the data science domain capability 10 years ahead and how it will reform telecommunication sector?
So definitely, I think 10 years ahead, what is going to happen is something really kind of difficult to say because the world is moving so fast. The things are changing, at a very rapid pace. So I say that 10 years is a very, very broad timeline. Even if you ask me what will happen after 2 years, is something unpredictable. Given I think we have seen a couple of things, right? Recently, a pandemic, right, which
Yeah, yeah,
no one have expected it to be happen, and so there are a lot of surprises in the funnel. But again, going back to the question, yeah. So see, I see a very promising future, specifically with all these technologies, and along with that, as they say that if electricity is a boon, there is also some challenges which comes with it, right? So you need to balance them off. In the similar way, AI, data science are great, but it has to be happen in an ethical boundaries. Data is important piece, but it has to again happen in a very confined boundary, and laws and other things need to become to have this segment growing in coming years. As far as telcos are concerned, I am pretty sure that they are sitting on the huge pile of data. It's just a matter of time that how they can extract more and more value, and eventually this is going to become bigger and bigger only as people, more and more people moving online. And if more and more people moving online, they are living more and more digital footprints, right? So if the digital footprints are increasing, definitely I will see that it's growing to a very, very great extent. And I'm pretty sure that right now the way data science is being pursued, I'm pretty sure that in a couple of years there may be a different versions of data scientists you will see, which is more focused on deployments, which is more focused on ML ops, rather than doing a modeling, because there is a lot of automation which is happening in creating the model itself. Yeah, so the future is exciting, I will say, in a way. Let's see how the things will phase out, but yeah, I'm very optimistic about it in the coming years. Hey, am I audible?
So I think guys,
Sorry.
not an issue.
Hey guys, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Yeah, am I audible, Sangeet? Hello.
Akash, there is some disturbance on your side. Akash.
One moment. One moment.
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
Am I audible now? Hello.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Oh, I think just lost connection for a moment. Okay. So I think.
Akash, Akash again.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, Akash, you're still not audible. No? Hello, Akash.
Is it clear now? Hello,
Yeah. Yeah, somewhat.
Sangeet.
Yeah, somewhat, Akash. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
Now it's good.
So I think this is all from our side that we have really want to know views that Aryant has shared. Next, we'll just move on to the open question and answer session. Okay. And if anybody who have joined want to ask some question from Aryant, they can make. So either you can unmute or you can type in the chat so that we can see. Hello. So I
Hello,
think,
Akash. Aman here. Can you hear me?
yeah, man, please.
Yeah. Hello, Aryan. Yeah.
We can.
I would like to ask you, like, what advice you will give someone, like, if someone is pursuing his career in another field, but they want to switch to this data science field. So, what you will advise him and how he should proceed, how he should start all the things and all.
Yeah, so I think it depends on multiple things, though. It's a very generic question. So let's say a lot of folks, there are a lot of versions over there. A lot of folks who are in non-tech field, they are switching in data science. There are people who are having a great experience in other field, they are switching in data science. Right. So it depends on at what level you are switching, but the general principles remain same. And the general principle remains same is that again, I will repeat myself though is a structure thinking mindset, critical thinking, problem solving, followed by learning about technical skills like let's say to start with SQL skills and a Python skills. In Python also, let's say pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, all these are like libraries to get started. Then followed by visualizations, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and all that. Like you try to cover that ecosystem, then moved and learn about exploratory data analysis, data cleaning, and all that stuff, and then go to machine learning, right? And here the whole part is like you try to develop something as you're learning a lot of things. In between, there is a huge chunk of mathematics, statistics, which anyone need to focus on, like inferential statistics, descriptive statistics. There are good amount of like free courses available on all these things as such to learn in. On the top of this technical skills, I think one of the thing which is very important is structure thinking, that given a problem statement, how you can break this into multiple chunks and then solve this through an data science or an analytics. So I will say that these are the general principles, but again, this depends on at what level someone wanted to switch and other stuff. But yeah, these are few of the general principles I will definitely say to anyone to really get started very quickly in data science world.